space for conversation around women's health through the lens of naturopathic and Eastern medicine. I am Sandy Ross, and this is Her Earth Medicine Podcast. This podcast is multi-leveled, episodes for patient education to graduate practitioner level. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope you gain value from this episode. Welcome to the Her Earth Medicine Podcast. My name is Sandy, and I will be your host. I have created this podcast because I know that patients are very thirsty for information in relation to their own health. Often when you see a practitioner of Chinese medicine or naturopathic medicine, there might be a overburden of information given to you, and sometimes you don't have enough resources to go and look it up so that you can add value and add information to help you support your own healing journey. So throughout this podcast, I'd like to explore things in relation to the topics of women's health, fertility, pregnancy, gut health, postpartum, and also children's health. These are the areas that I have specialized in my own clinical practice for more than a decade now, and also have been teaching at a university level as an academic lecturer. In this podcast, I also want to bring on practitioners and go into some great depth on some of the topics that I'm really fascinated on. Some of these episodes will probably be practitioner level, but I will always pop that in the title so that you don't feel overwhelmed with the information. I'm going to go into two ways with this podcast. So one part of it will be very Chinese medicine, and another part of it will be very naturopathic medicine when we go into things like gut health and genetics. I'll also try and do some integration podcasts where I can bring together both the modalities to help you understand how they can definitely work together. I got into this at a very young age. I was healed by a man when I was 9 years old who was an acupuncturist and a naturopath. And after I seen him, I knew what I wanted to do. Then again, when I was 15, I was having excruciating menstrual cycles, and my mum took me to another naturopath who made me up a herbal tincture after doing iridology. She put me on a detox and gave me a few supplements, and within 1 or 2 cycles, everything had regulated. Again, at the age of 16, my father had a cancer diagnosis, and I was going along with him to the consultations with a naturopath. So I had a lot of exposure from a very young age as to what. When I actually qualified as a naturopath and practitioner of Chinese medicine, I thought it would be really good to go and study in China and learn a little bit about the actual culture and how they tie it all together in China. And so I actually went and studied in Shandong province in the snowy mountains of a place called Kunyushan Martial Arts Academy, where it wasn't just Chinese medicine. It was Kung Fu, Tai Chi, Qigong, calligraphy, Taoism, and Chinese medicine. And so when I was there, I really got to bring it all together and understand a lot more about the essence that we call qi and how it is just so much more than just in the clinical practice room. So going to China was an amazing experience for me. After I studied at the Chinese Martial Arts Academy, I traveled to Shanghai and actually spent some time up there in the traditional Chinese medicine hospitals and got to see firsthand how they really treat clinically in their hospital settings. So that was really intense and also amazing at the same time. I got to see some conditions that would never get touched in Western countries, treated with things like acupuncture and also Chinese herbal medicine. So I feel like that really sunk into my Chinese medicine clinical practice on how to really tie everything into beyond just the actual treatment we do. I was able to, because of my studies, I was able to, and also my internship, I was a very confident practitioner from a young age, and I was fortunate enough to get an amazing position to run a clinic that was newly opening in Bangkok in Thailand at the age of 24. So just before moving there, I had done, I think it was 3 years of clinical experience here in Australia, and then went and did a yoga teacher training and meditation course in India, and then travelled to Bangkok to start practicing over there at the age of 24. In Bangkok, I worked alongside some amazing international practitioners in both the fields of naturopathic and also homeopathic medicine, and also did some further studies with Japanese and Chinese medicine. In Bangkok, I was seeing mostly women health related conditions, gut health, fertility, hormones, a lot of IVF, and also in addition, children's health from allergies and atopic conditions, where I found that nutritional medicine was so valuable to tie in with things like acupuncture and also Chinese herbal medicine. In addition to my bachelor's degree, along the way, I've also done a master's in health science with the specialization of traditional Chinese medicine, and a big emphasis was in women's health. And it was an amazing course that I did because we basically had all the people that we aspire to follow in the field of Chinese medicine come into the university and give us workshops. So it was a really amazing master's degree that I did by coursework through the University of Western Sydney. So as I said earlier, I've been in clinic for over a decade. I graduated in 2008 and I've been a college lecturer now since 2016. And within this time, I've really been able to dive deep into these topics that I love. And so this podcast is all about sharing those things that I love to explore, and to also be able to bring practitioners from the fields of Chinese medicine and naturopathic medicine to share their expertise in the area. So thank you for listening, and I will be chatting with you soon. Thank you for listening. I have been a practitioner of naturopathic and Chinese medicine for over a decade. I have a master's degree of health science and I am an academic lecturer at Australia's leading natural medicine college. I am available worldwide online for bookings. Simply go to sandyrosshealth.com.